Good evening. Thank you.
1 year ago, I
1 year ago,
introduced my father
I introduced my father
when he declared
his
his
candidacy.
In his own way,
In his own way,
and through his own sheer
force of will, he sacrificed greatly to enter the political arena
as an outsider.
And he prevailed
against a field of 16
very talented competitors.
For more than a year,
For more than a year,
Donald Trump has been
the people's champion.
And tonight, he is the people's nominee. Like many of my fellow millennials, I do not consider myself categorically Republican or Democrat. More than party affiliation,
affiliation,
vote based on what I believe
I vote on paper on what I believe is right
for my family
and for my country.
and for my country. Sometimes it's a tough choice.
That's not the case this time. As the proud daughter of your nominee,
I am here to tell you that this is the moment.
And Donald Trump is the person
to make
America great again. America great again.
Real change,
the kind we have not seen
in decades,
is only going to come from outside the system.
And it's only going
to come from a man who spent his entire life
doing what others said could not be done. My father is a fighter.
My father is a fighter.
When the primaries got tough, they were tough. He did what any great leader does. He dug deeper. Worked harder. Got better. And became stronger.
At the beginning of this year, I decided to break
through my limits
and
do something I've always dreamed.
I have seen him fight
for his family.
I have seen him
him fight for his employees.
I have seen him fight for his
I have seen him fight for his company. And now I'm seeing him fight for our country. It's been the story of his life. And more recently,
the spirit
of his campaign.
It's also
a prelude to reaching the goal that unites us all. When this party and better still this country
knows what it is like
to win again. If it's possible to be famous and yet not really well done, that describes the father who raised me. In the same office in Trump Tower, where we now work together, I remember playing on the floor by my father's desk, constructing miniature buildings with Legos and sets. While he did the same
with concrete,
steel, and glass. My father taught my siblings and me. He imposed a positive values and strong ethical compass.
He showed us how to be resilient.
He showed us how to be resilient.
How to deal with challenges.
How to deal with challenges.
And how to strive for excellence.
And how to strive for excellence.
In all that we do.
In all that we do.
He taught us that there's.
He taught us that there's
nothing we cannot accomplish.
That there's nothing what we cannot accomplish if we marry vision and passion with an enduring work ethic.
One of my father's greatest talents is the ability to see potential in people before they see it in themselves. It was like that for us too. It was like that for us too growing up. He taught us that potential vanishes into nothing without effort. And that like him, we each had a responsibility to work not just for ourselves, but for the betterment of the world around us. Over the years, on too many occasions to count. I saw my father tell stories out of the newspaper about people whom he had never met, who were facing some injustice or hardships. He'd write a note to his assistant in a signature black felt tip pen, and requested that the person be found and invited to Trump Tower
to meet with
He would
him.
talk to them
We would talk to them
and then draw upon
and then draw
his extensive network
upon his extensive network
find them a job,
to
or
find
get
them a
break.
job or get them a
And
break.
they would leave his office as
And
people
they
so
would leave his office as people so
often do
often
after having
do
been
after having been with Donald Trump.
feeling
Donald
that
Trump.
life could
Feeling that life
be great again.
could be great again. Throughout my entire life,
I have witnessed his empathy.
Entire life, through our entire life, I have witnessed his empathy,
towards others,
and generosity
especially those
to request, especially
who are
those
suffering.
who are suffering, especially especially those who are suffering.
It is just his way.
It is just his way.
Of being.
It's just his way of being in your corner when you're down. In your corner when you're down. When you're down.
My father not only has the strength.
My father not only has the strength
And ability
necessary
to be our next president.
Necessary to be our next president.
But also the kindness.
And
compassion
that will enable him to be the leader
that this country
That this country
needs.
needs. My father has a sense of fairness that touches every conviction he holds. I worked alongside of him for now more than a decade now at the Trump organization.
And I've seen how he
operates as a leader. Making important decisions that shape careers and that change lives.
I've learned a lot about the world.
I've learned a lot about the world from working construction
jobs
by his side.
When run properly, construction sites are true meritocracy. Competence in the building trades.
Competence in the building.
It's easy to spot.
It's easy to spot.
And incompetence is
incompetence
impossible to hide.
Is impossible to hide. These sites are also
so incredible melting
pots, gathering people from
all walks of
life
and uniting them
to work
towards a single There have always been
There have always been
men of all
men of all background,
background and ethnicity
men of all background and
on my father's
ethnicities on my father's job site.
And long before it was
And long before it was commonplace,
also saw
you also saw
women.
woman.
My father values talents.
My father values talent.
He recognizes real knowledge
He recognized real knowledge
and skill when
and skill when he finds it.
He is colorblind
He's colorblind
and gender
neutral.
He hires the best
He hires the best
person for the job. Period.
Period.
Words and promises.
Words and promises,
No matter how visionary they sound,
no matter how visionary they sound, will only get you so far.
In
So
our
far.
business,
In our business,
you're not a builder
you're not a builder
unless you've got a building
unless you've got a building to show for it.
or in my father's
Or in my father's case,
city skyline.
city skylines.
Most people strive
Most people strive.
their entire lives
Most people strive their entire
to achieve
life to achieve
success
great success
in a single industry.
in a single industry.
My father has succeeded in many
My father has succeeded in many
on the highest
on the highest level
level
and
on a
highest level and
global
on a
scale.
global scale.
One of the reasons he has struck
One of the reasons he has thrived as an entrepreneur
is because he listens
is because he listens to everyone. To everyone.
Billionaire executives
To everyone. To everyone. Billionaire
don't usually ask
executive don't usually ask the people doing the work
for their opinion
for their opinion
of the work.
of the work.
My father is an exception.
My father is an exception.
On every one of his projects,
On every one of his projects,
you'll see him talking
you'll see him talking
to the super,
to the super,
the painter, the
the
engineers,
painter, the engineers,
the electricians.
the electricians.
He'll ask them for their
He'll ask them for
feedback.
their
If he thinks something
something
should be done differently
should be done differently
or could be done better.
or could be done better.
When Donald Trump is
When Donald Trump is in
in charge,
charge,
all that counts
all that counts
is ability,
is ability,
effort, and excellence.
effort, and excellence.
This has long been
in
the philosophy of
the philosophy
the Trump organization.
at the Trump organizations.
At my father's
At my father's
company,
company,
there are more
at my father's company,
female than
there are more female
male
than
executives.
male executives.
Women are paid equal.
Women are paid equally for the work that we
do.
do.
And when a woman
And when a woman
becomes a mother,
becomes a mother, Women are paid equally for the work that we do, and when a woman becomes a mother,
She is supported,
she is supported,
not shut out.
not shut out.